special interview with Rev Joeph G Johnson there. So welcome to the media.
Thank you, Tennessee and Calvin. How's the day?
Thank you. Good. Fine. Who is Rev Gary, if I may ask?
Oh, Pastor Gary Johnson is General Overseer of the Restoration Baptist Ministry located on the Addison Street on the Old Road. Restoration is a church that is 9 years old and involved in various ministries. We run a small NGO called RECOMS, Restoration Community Services. On that program, we have a program for drug abuse kids. We take them from the street and bring them to the church and keep them up to 9 months, rehabilitate them, send them back to the community and the different university. And then on the same program, we have the feeding program for kids in the community. We're talking about 408 kids every week, and it's small food for the less fortunate in the community, older people. We also provide small scholarship, and then we run a free school, a free elementary school for kids in the community we have never seen a classroom though. So Restoration is 9 years old and been doing all these things in 7 years, and we're grateful. We have a current engagement pretty close to 500 person right now, 450 person active, and we're grateful for the work. So Pastor Joseph G Johnson serves as the overseer of the ministry. I oversee the work here. I'm married. I have a biological son and 4 adopted kids.
Right. Thank you ever so much for that brilliant introduction of yourself. And then you can tell us, how far is the church in Liberia? Do you see the churches in Liberia progressing?
You know, when you have a child staying with you and the child is growing, it's difficult for you to measure the development and growth of the child because you see that child every day. The only way you know Liberia doing better unless you also are Liberia. Okay, so I love my country, but that does not mean that when she's not doing well, I can see we have some serious, very serious shortfall as a country. But at the same time, Liberia is a beautiful country, and I believe by the special grace of God, in the midst of all that is taking place and all that is happening, we still doing better, and I know we can do better by the special grace of God. The church in Liberia is playing her part like everyone else, and we've had our share of ups and downs, but I know by the special grace of God things will improve.
Yeah. So, Reverend, just look at some of your activities. Will you mind sharing with the public some of your activities, the challenges that young people, because according to you, when you first implemented, you said young people are faced with so many challenges, from drugs, and you have been interacting with them directly.
Yeah, the issue of our young people, you see, the young people, they are actually the future leader of Liberia tomorrow. If we do not pay attention to their development in every aspect of life, it's going to be a serious problem for the future of this country. As you are aware, as mentioned, I told you we're doing most of our program geared toward helping the young people. Our scholarship program for university students, a small scholarship program I'll give some of the university students, the free education that we open for elementary students here in the community, where they don't have to pay any dime, just have to walk from the street and come and sit in the classroom, providing the same quality education that they will need in a standard school. And the rehabilitation program for drug abuse cases in our community. It all gears toward young people, empowering young people in our church and the community. From the drugs program, and counseling, we discovered that the issue of drugs in Liberia is a very serious thing. It's so alarming to the point that I think it's now beyond national security threat. Because when you have kids, the next generation that's going to be taking over from us who are older now, faced with the danger of drugs. Some of them have been drugged against their will because they put the drugs in food, at party, at the different school campuses, different universities. They put the drugs in the kaya, they put the drugs in pepper soup, they put the drugs in barbecue, and some of the kids go to eat because all they know they're eating food, and over a period of time they are now drugged and become a drug addict. It's a serious business. Drugs are now appearing in schools. From our own interview and our own interaction with some of the kids that are our drugs program, they came in contact with the drugs in the bathroom in Syrian Christian institution, Syrian Christian University. So I can safely say to you, not really safely say to you, but I can really say to you about evidence and about truth that drugs is all over the place. The drugs is all over the place in the different universities.
So what do you think?
Especially cocaine.
Wow. This is an army according to you. So you think what's the way forward in terms of fighting the act of drugs?
First, the government needs to be serious. The government needs to take the issue of drugs very serious. And when I say the government needs to take the issue very serious, it means that those that the government will be appointed to fight the drugs should also make sure they do a complete overhaul of the system, and those who are going to get involved or those who are going to appoint to help the government to fight drugs in our country should be people that they have done some serious background check to make sure they're not employing people who are already using the drugs or employing people who are already selling the drugs to fight the drugs. Because we have discovered from the kids we're talking to and from the community, we discovered some of the guys who work with the DEA are heavily involved in this usage and the sales of drugs in the country. So the fight has to start from the government. Government got to make sure they're appointing the rebels who have the power, the strength, the willpower, and the conviction to really fight the drugs. Number one. Number two, we have to be able to provide the kind of incentives needed by those who fight in the drugs. You cannot ask somebody to fight. Drugs is a lucrative business. People make millions of dollars out of drugs. So you cannot be paying somebody $250 at the end of the month, and you tell them to go find somebody who will bring in your drugs that will cost pretty close to 12 to 15 million, and they're prepared to bribe you at almost $50,000, $100,000 to bring the drugs in. Of course, it's going to be very easy for the person who is making less than $200 or $300 to succumb to that kind of temptation. So if we want to fight drugs, we have to be very serious. We have to be willing to pay the people who fight in the drugs in such a way that they will not be tempted, to give way to drugs coming into the country. So it starts first with the government. Government needs to be honest that they really want to fight it. Then it comes to the community, because drugs cannot be fought by only the government alone. It is a holistic fight. The communities must be involved, community leaders. How is it that we as parents and community leaders allow ghettos where they sell drugs to develop in our country, in our community, without saying anything? Because the drugs will be feeding our kids, will be going to our kids will sell it, our kids will buy it, our kids will use it. And they're right in the community, and we're sitting there seeing them abusing our kids, and we do nothing. So it has to be a community fight, and we have to be willing to fight it. Now the church not paying much attention to it. You see now entering faith-based schools. They go into schools now, and it getting serious. You go on the street, you see a lot of Liberians, especially around 3 o'clock in the morning. Young girls and young men sleeping all on market tables, or in the different market centers in the night, sleeping all in old cars. And these are good Liberian citizens that can do better for the country tomorrow. So it's actually a national security threat. Thirdly, we need to strengthen the laws on the abuse and usage of drugs and the sale of drugs in our country. It has to be a non-billable crime. We cannot have people bringing drugs there, abusing our kids, destroying the future of the country, and then the laws are weak when they are arrested. It has to be a non-billable crime. When you are found with drugs, selling or using drugs, we arrest you. It's not billable. You stay in jail until after your court appearance. And if you are found guilty, you stay in jail for the rest of your life. If we take that, in other countries, people have been put placed on firing squad. The uses of drugs is death penalty.